When you listen to the best players in the world talk about advice that they have for amateurs, they always say get better at 150 yards and in. Reason being is this is your scoring clubs. This is where you can hit the ball closer to the hole and ultimately give yourself more chances of holding putts. So in today's video, I'm going to go through 3 tips that are guaranteed to help you hit the ball close with your wedges to help you lower your scores. The biggest key about being a good wedge player is being able to control strike, trajectory, and therefore distance. If you can do these 3 things, you are going to be a great wedge player. So everything that we are doing today is going to be geared around improving your strike, which is therefore going to give you more control over your ball flight and therefore help you control your distance. The first key that we're going to go through is how do you control the club face? Club face is so important because it dictates how you can control dynamic loft, how your body's going to react in the swing, and ultimately what sort of contacts are you going to produce. So if you are that golfer who at any point in their swing is starting to get that club face open, then we need to fix that straight away. So one of the biggest issues that I see golfers face is that when they have a wedge shot, they take the club back straight away and they open up that face. And now, as you can see from the downline angle, the face is now pointing straight up to the sky. So in this situation, when this happens, we are in trouble because we are going to have to make some big compensation in the downswing to try and square that club face up. Now, usually when we're trying to make that big compensation, bad things happen. We are having to cast the club out, we're having to stall our body, and the wedge swing isn't a big swing. So if we're trying to do all of these things in such a short space of time, then good luck being a good wedge player because it's not going to happen. So what I want you to actually do is just pay attention to the first 3 feet of your golf swing. If you take it back and you start to see that the toe of the club starts to roll open, we know we're in trouble. So one of the key things that I want you to do is focus on actually trying to get the club face as you take it back to point more down to the ground. If you can get that club face pointing more down to the ground, it is actually going to promote a little bit more of a closed club face. Now, why is that important? Well, if we think about one of the most important concepts when it comes to hitting good wedge shots, it's shaft lean. So shaft lean is actually an opener of the club face. You can see as I've applied that shaft lean, I've opened up the club face. So if I have that club a little bit more hooded in the takeaway, and then I swing maybe to left arm parallel and back down, that face is then going to allow me to actually deal off the club a little bit because the club face is closed. So those 2 things, club face and shaft lean, will then cancel each other out, producing that great square club face of impact with some shaft lean. So here's a great drill for you. What I want you to do is set up to the ball, place your left hand on the club and take your right hand and just open it up and have it on this side of the club like that. So it's an open palm right here. Now, as you take it back, I just want you to focus on having that palm point down to the ground. And as you can see now from the downline angle, look at what that's done to that club face position. It's got it in a very, very closed position. So even now, if I now just take that to there, then take it back to left arm parallel, again, you can see that palm is still pointing away from me. As I then start down, palm is still pointing away from me, and as I get to impact, palm is pointing down to the ground. So you can see with that, the open palm drill, it's great because I can get a feeling of what it feels like to keep that club face in a closed position, and I can actually do some little rehearsal swings just like that. So I'm going to have my palm on the side of the club. I'm going to feel like as I take it back, the palm points down to the ground, left arm parallel, palm's pointing away, and then palm continues to point down to the ground. That's going to give me a lot more control over the club face. It means then I can just turn my body all the way through, and ultimately from there, I'm going to produce far better wedge shots. Let me give it a go for you right here. Do my rehearsal swing, palm down away. Now I'm going to grip the club normally, and I'm just going to repeat that same feeling. That was a pure strike. That's going to get you hitting better wedge shots every time. Tip number 2 that's going to help you hit better wedge shots is control your mass throughout your swing. Now, why is this important? Well, our mass plays a huge role in where we hit the ground. A great example of this is if I put all my weight on my right leg and I swing, I'm going to make contact relatively level with my right foot. Flip it over to my left leg, keep it there the whole time and swing, going to make contact relatively level with my left foot. So as a result, we need to control our weight so that we can control our low point, which therefore means we can get that ball and then ground contact, which is crucial for that crisp strike, giving us control over the wedge shot. How do we do that? Well, as a general rule, the shorter the wedge shot, the shorter the swing, right? Well, in this situation, the more we are then going to preset our weight onto our lead leg. So by presetting the weight on the left leg, it then makes it easier to get back into a good impact position. So in this situation, if we have a 70, 80 yard shot, I've got a 52-degree wedge here, I'm going to feel like I preset a lot more weight on that left leg, about 80%, and then I'm going to keep it there the whole time and just pivot around that left foot. So sort of this left foot is my pivot point, this left leg is my pivot point, and it's a turn and a turn. If I take control of the club face, I'm going to be able to turn freely, get that great shaft lean, and ultimately now that I've taken control of the weight, I'm going to be able to get that ball in ground contact. A great drill to help you with this is to set up to the golf ball, or set up just inside in this example, take your trail foot and put it back on the toe like in this situation. Now from here, this has really got a lot more of my weight on my lead side. Make a swing and feel like you can just stay on that lead foot. You're just turning and turning. If you do a swing and you fall back, you're going to feel it straight away because you're going to lose balance. So keep that weight on that lead side, let that right foot drop back, and then from there, just make some nice pivots. Now you can actually hit shots doing that. I'll do that for you in a second, but this is going to ensure that you keep that weight on the left side, ultimately producing a much better contact because your mass is going to allow you to get that low point further forwards. Let me give that drill a go for you right now, just so you can see what it looks like when I keep that weight forwards. Send up to the ball here, toe up, make a nice little pivot. As you can see, that's kept my weight on the left side. Ultimately from there, got a good ball in ground contact, and that is going to help you get far more consistent with your wedges. Tip number 3 that's going to help you hit better wedge shots is getting on plane. Now, one of the most common issues that I see is players in the backswing, especially with a wedge shot, they get off plane very quickly. So either they'll take the club way inside, they'll roll it, maybe they'll come out of posture as well, or you'll tend to find that players take it outside way too much. And ultimately from there, you're going to have to reroute the club in some form, make a compensation in the downswing, and because again a wedge swing isn't very big, it's going to be extremely difficult to get that club back onto plane. So we want to get the club onto plane as much as we can and as fast as we can when it comes to a wedge shot. So if I set up to the ball here, what are we looking to see? It's sort of, let's take this chest high position as our guide. Well, in this chest high position, we want to see the hands are level with the right pec muscle and the shaft plane is roughly pointing at the ball to target line. Now, we need to give you a drill that's going to give you a great visual for this. So what you're going to do is grab an alignment stick. Now, step up to the golf ball and place that alignment stick down the left edge of the shaft. And as you can see, it is connected to the left side of my body right there. As you take the club back, you want to feel like it stays connected to your left hip joint. From this position, as you then start to set the club upwards, we want to be seeing, okay, hands in line with the right pec muscle, and then that alignment stick extending down towards the golf ball target line right there. So if I do that a couple times, I'm here, I keep it connected to the lead hip, set it up into that good position right there, getting everything working the way it wants to be. Now from this position, if I let the club fall as I turn, I'm going to be able to get that club back onto plane very, very quickly because it's already on plane, and ultimately from there I'm going to become a lot more consistent. So do a couple of those rehearsal swings, feel it get into that good position. Once you've done that a couple of times, then what I want you to do is place the alignment stick on the ground. Now try and repeat that same feeling. So feel like the button of the grip points at the ball to target line, hands in front of the right pec, and then swing through. Now we're going to give it a go, and then we're going to check on camera to see if we did it correctly. So let me give this a go for you right here. Weight on the left side, club face in a good position. Let's try and hit that great checkpoint right there. Felt like a great strike, felt like I hit that position. We'll double check it on camera, and then from there you're going to start to find that you can hit a lot more consistent wedges because you're not having to make compensations. Remember, a good golf swing does not rely on compensations. So there you have it. Those are 3 tips that are guaranteed to help you improve your wedge play. Remember, wedge play is crucial for helping you shoot lower scores. If you can hit the ball closer on every single wedge shot, you're going to give yourself more chances of holing putts, and ultimately your scores will drop. If you want more one-to-one coaching, please visit my online coaching platform, which is Skillist. I'll leave the link down below, and you can get some one-to-one coaching no matter where you are in the world. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give it a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you back here soon.